Missing your Six Nations fix? Fear not. For the next 6 weeks, it's the women taking centre stage. And it all kicks off here in Cardiff at the Arms Park as Wales welcome two-time champions Ireland to the capital. And for the first time ever, every team has some form of professional contracts in place. So hopes are high that this will be the most competitive tournament to date.
Our game. Increase.
Our time.
Our turn.
Your Wales.
Big try for Wales.
Your Wales.
Hannah Jones for the win. Wales have done it.
Your Wales.
Kira Bevan sets the Cardiff Arms Park alight.
Your Wales.
Hello there and welcome to a very windy Cardiff, but these two, well, they are itching to get going. It's all smiles from two former Wales internationals, Philippa Tuttiett and Siwan Lillicrap. Good to see you both on the start of this new competition and this new professional era for the competition, Philippa. Do you share the same optimism now that standards will soar?
Oh, absolutely. This is the first time that every single team in the Six Nations has got an element of professionalism. We've seen the amount of contracts with the Welsh team doubled. That's fantastic, not only in regards to your conditioning, more time together, but the girls have the backing, they have the belief, they have the support. So, yeah, this can only be a positive thing.
Siwan, what a difference a year makes. You would have been right in the mix 12 months ago. Got to ask you, are you missing it, newly retired?
Yeah, I am, especially seeing the girls, come out warming up now for the opening of the Women's Six Nations, where it's grown substantially. Like, the hype around it is massive, and then nothing beats wearing that Welsh jersey and being with these girls. So I will miss not being with them today, but fortunate enough to be here, being involved in the games. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's the next best thing, isn't it? Siwan's not the only big name missing. We've got a couple of injuries for Wales. Donna Rose, Alicia Butchers as well. Jazz Joyce is away with the GB7 setup, but it gives new faces a new opportunity.
Yeah, it certainly does. And, it's testament to this team now. They've got that strength and depth, whereas before, big names like that missing would have been a shock to the system. But actually, they've got the players now that can step up, step in. The likes of Cecilia Tuipulotu going into the front row. What an exciting youngster that we'll get to see today.
There we are, a Welsh take on things. Let's get an Irish perspective. Lauren Jenkins is standing by with some company.
Thanks, Catherine. Yeah, I'm with former Ireland international Senai now, who's making us all feel we should have added a bit of colour to our outfit today. You've been getting me in the mood since you walked in, Senai, and it's a huge occasion. It's a happy hunting ground for you. You scored here the last time Ireland played here in a winning performance back in 2021. What's it like being on the sidelines today?
Oh, it's a different feeling. It's a privilege to be here at Cardiff Arms. It's a wonderful park. We've had some good memories, but also, it's surreal, and also, working alongside Siwan here today. Interesting game ahead of us.
You're getting emotional already, but look, Ireland are the only team in the tournament who didn't make the World Cup at the end of last year. Will that hurt them in any way, or is it added motivation to prove a point?
Oh, look, it's an opportunity for Ireland, opportunity to test themselves, see where they're at against a really strong Welsh team who are in their second year of professional contracts, making the quarterfinals at the Pinnacle event, playing the World Champions twice and that. So, on paper, they've got the edge. They've got some really strong and experienced combinations. 9-10 combination is pretty sharp today, and obviously the pack, a lot of them play together with Gloucester, so it'll be an interesting battle today. At the same time, I'll back our girls in the DNA that Ireland have as well.
We are going to get out of this swirling wind and out of the way of these swirling balls and hear from the coaches now. I spoke to Greg McWilliams and Johan Cunningham a little earlier on. Johan, you come into this tournament off the back of a third place finish last year. What's the main aim? What's the goal as you start another championship campaign?
Well, first thing is to try to back up what we did last year. I think that'll show growth in the team for sure. But also it's looking at our performances, especially coming off the back of a World Cup, and seeing how we can improve in those areas. Scoring more tries, for example, so that's something we'll be focusing on this championship.
You've said this week you've picked absolutely the best players to suit the DNA of this squad. What do you hope that DNA will become?
you know, like, you're representing the people of Ireland. Like, you got to be hard-working, you got to be resilient, you got to have each other's backs. You know, like, there's lots of things that take no talent that define the success of teams, and I think, like, seeing that hard work pay off will be important. They're working incredibly hard around their technical and tactical understanding. They're doing a huge amount of work in the gym with our head of athletic performance, Ed Slattery, and, you know, we owe so much to Ed for getting the players ready to go into battle today. And it's going to be a fierce battle. Wales are physical, they're strong, they got to a World Cup quarter-final, they beat us at home last year in Dublin, so we know this is going to be a significant challenge for us, but it's one that we can't wait to dig the old teeth into.
Yeah, the head coaches there with their take on things. There's now a choir behind us. The crowd are gearing up, ready for kick-off. But there's time for us to talk about the skippers. We have a new skipper for Wales, Hannah Jones, but she is an experienced presence, especially in that midfield, Philippa.
Oh, absolutely. When you consider she made her debut back in 2015, so the amount of Six Nations cycles, World Cup cycles, Commonwealth Games cycles that she's been through, she brings such experience, such maturity, and the key, she's only 26, so she's got another 1 or 2 World Cups in her. Consistent performer and leader on the field. Fantastic choice as captain.
What about the Irish skipper then, Nicola Friday? What does she bring to the Irish side?
Yeah, Nicola Friday's a workhorse, you know, on and off the pitch. She makes sure she does her homework, she knows her role, but also those of her teammates. Very similar to Hannah, she's been in the program for a similar amount of time. The last few years before she was named captain, she was a key part of the leadership group. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they go. I just watched the warm up there and they're hitting the right targets and she's right in the thick of it. So it'll be interesting today.
There we are, the old heads then, but we have some new players making her first start. Cecilia Tupilotu, you mentioned her earlier, Philippa. She's in that front row, and I have to say, her stats in the gym, they are phenomenal.
Yeah, she is unreal, and the privilege of playing alongside her, you know, but in the gym, she is top of the chart at every lift in the gym. And she's only 19 years old. She's had 7 caps for Wales, 8th today, starting at tight end, but also she's an outstanding person. When you've got that talent and an outstanding person, she's going to go far. So we'll see her get round the park today and hopefully get some of those big carries in.
For her club, she plays at lock. Is that an issue? Should she be thinking about specialising?
Yeah, she plays in the second row a lot for Gloucester Hartbury, but I know Wales see her as a front rower. She's young, she's developing, so it's going to take time to, I think, fully transition into that position. I hope today scrum goes well for her so we can see that presence from the park, and I think that will be a focus for Cecilia today.
Here we go then. The 2023 Women's Six Nations about to kick off. 5 years after retiring, we're about to find out if Philippa still has it. She's about to run off and join Gareth Rhys-Owen in commentary.
Welcome to the Arms Park. It's a rather lovely afternoon here, and Ireland arrive with the memory of 2 recent fixtures between these sides heavily stamped on their brains. A loss last season in Dublin, an emphatic victory here in Cardiff 2 years ago. It's a sizable crowd, expectations are high, and that applies. Oh, poor Dab. Well, Hannah Jones will not have the mascot as she leads her side out on the field. Pre-tournament nerves, pre-tournament confidence. It's that time when the future offers so much promise. Optimism is the vibe in Cardiff for both these teams, in particular for Hannah Jones and her side, because Wales are a year into their professional journey and they've taken a lead on Ireland. They are further down the track, and with that comes greater pressure, greater expectation and the desire for results. We'll pause and reflect and offer our support of the rugby as a sport does against racism.
Okay, please join us now for the singing of Ireland's Call.
The day of
before the anthems. You certainly are now. And Johan Cunningham has named a strong team with some interesting calls. 19-year-old Cecilia Tupilotu has been moved to tight 10. Despite Sue and Lily Crapp's retirement and Alicia Butcher's long-term injury, the back row of Evans, Lewis and Callender is still pretty experienced. Halfbacks and centres are settled in terms of partnership, and with Jazz Joyce committed to GB7's duties, it's Williams-Morris and Neumann who are out wide. Ireland, well, they've also got a number of key players committed to the Sevens programme. What a day for 18-year-old Sive McGrath, who makes her debut at Lucerne. She's got the support behind of the impressive lock pairing of Friday and Monaghan. Nicola Cronin has been given the nod at 10. Dalton at 13 is a very classy talent, but the backs are a little bit light on international experience. Keep an eye on Kate Williams, hoping to make her international debut. Member of the New Zealand Navy, who's chanced their arm to play for the nation of her birth. Hannah Jones and Nicola Friday, two skippers, hoping potentially to be the best of the rest, compete against the strong favourites England and France, who are on another level historically in this competition. But these are two sides who are high on optimism. You got you, Philippa.
Thank you. Yes, just made it up. So excited for this one. I mean, you have to say pressure's on Wales now, going into their second season of professionalism, but they've embraced that. I've spoken to the girls. They want to prove a point. They want to show the world how much training and effort they've put in to try and do the best they can.
To entertain, but also to inspire. The brief is simple. We're lift-off in the 2023 Six Nations. First touch, Lisa Neumann. And immediately, having prepped for so long for the first kick, Wales let the ball bounce. So there are pre-match nerves already kicking in.
Yeah, of course there is. First round of the Six Nations as well, and like I say, pressure is on Wales, whereas for Ireland, they're very much going through a transition. Lots of new players, like you said. So for them, it's kind of a just go, enjoy, express yourself, nothing to lose, which we know that mentality can be so dangerous.
Keep an eye on the big lock Monaghan. She's got an array of skills. Brilliant offloader. And this Ireland pack will need to compete, but it's been turnover, and the turnover was Gwenllian Pearce, and surely Wales will go here. They do. Lake, Hannah Jones. Oh, loose pass from Keats. Didn't go to hand, and William Morris dropped it. But great turnover work, and Wales were ready to explode there.
Yeah, they were so close yet so far. Brilliant turnover, like you say. They created a massive overlap there. Look at the strength, the body position. Plenty of Irish bodies there. They need to make an earlier decision and get in on that ball. But here, pass brilliant there from Hannah Jones, sacked in the defender, but that pass from fullback Courtney Key, just a little bit of nerves there. Karis William-Morris should have been away.
What an intriguing battle. 19-year-old Cecilia Tupilotu up against 18-year-old Sive McGrath. McGrath making her debut.
Set.
And the heat coming on her. That's the strength. That's the power. That's the size of Cecilia Tupilotu. And the Arms Park roars as if they've just scored a try.
Yeah, that is a fantastic first scrum there for Cecilia Tupilotu. As we said at the top of the programme, she doesn't play front row week in, week out at club level. It's a massive step up for her to front now with her first start in the front row. But this really couldn't have gone any better. Now, I'm no scrum expert, but even I can say that Wales are very dominant in this one.
Wales have been working hard on set piece. They were good in last year's Six Nations, but you think about being in camp, being together for a year now, and it's the marginal gains that make so much difference at international level. And Wales are rumbling, they're set, they're sailing towards the try line. Advantage being played. Alice Callender, mitts on the ball, she's within touching distance, and Wales get the try. 3 minutes into the game, Callender the beneficiary, but that was a try for all 8 forwards. First strike in the 2023 Women's Six Nations goes to the Red of Wales.
Best possible start there from Wales. Initially a bit shaky into the high ball, pass going to ground, but they've regrouped, and look at this set piece work, line out, driving maul. Something that at key points in the World Cup last year didn't always function for them, but this just brute force strength to drive over. You could see the backs didn't really look like they were ready to fire because they knew that ball wasn't coming out. They had the belief in the forwards, and they're showing that physicality, like you say, coming into the second year of professionalism. You know, I've been speaking to the strength and conditioning coach, and the Welsh girls have been hitting PBs in the gym constantly. Just that ability to not only train as hard as you can, but recover as well. And these women are really reaping the benefits.
Kira Bevan, perhaps with a longer range when it comes to kicking. That one wasn't there.
Brilliant strength there. You could see Gwen Crabb just creating that little fracture. She's such an asset for them as well. Real athletic forward.
Lake.
Taken back.
Back
Wingers
to
on
Kira
hold.
Bevan.
On now.
Nonchalant kick by her to Dealey, and that's gone backwards. Cronin. Really interesting to see what game plan Ireland deploy, especially into this win here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you would have thought they might test with some aerial skills, putting that ball up high, because Courtney Keats, slotting in at 15, hasn't played much there. But at the moment, they're looking just to keep ball in hand, which you can't blame them. They need to get the hands on the ball, build into this game.
We will be flagging Monaghan throughout this game. She is a real talent, a big second row. Overlap. Opportunity here. Sensible play by Hogan, who decided against the risky offload. What a start we've had to this game. Wall with a little tip pass, and Ireland are over the gain line. Cronin, who's a very good distributor. Monaghan again involved. Pearce trying to steal the ball again. Ireland coming from deep with acceleration. That's O'Leary, the open side.
Hold it. Advantage for entry.
Advantage coming, Monaghan. Giving it some width all the way to Doyle.
We've got advantage.
Free play here, potentially. Friday. Patient build-up. Jones. There's an injury, I think, for Gwen Crabb, is it? I think there's a player down for Wales in some serious pain.
No advantage.
Yeah, that is Gwen Crabb, and this is not good to see. She had a serious knee injury previously, which she worked so hard to come back from.
Direct head to head. Who let us know? I haven't seen anything myself yet.
Wincing in pain.
Yeah.
And you can hear the sound of the pain
Right, time is off
coming
here.
through. We're just going to pause for a second because it's clear that Gwen Crabb is in real distress, and that it's not nice to see, and it's certainly not nice to hear, is it?
No, it's not. We want these players to have long careers in this game, and for such a young athlete she's come through so many serious injuries.
No, okay,
she comes back so much stronger, so much fitter every single time. I was really hoping that this campaign would be her campaign.
Yeah, we'll just pause and think, and we just fingers crossed that it's just pain more than something very serious, but it doesn't look good at all.
No, I think she did look on her knee there. She sort of twisted it. She ran through the line. Really important now for both teams to regroup, stay together, get those key messages on now, stay focused. There'll be so much adrenaline running through these women's bodies right now. 6 minutes in. This is where you need your leaders on both sides.
I don't have a second one, I've only got this one.
Okay, let's have a quick word with Sue-Ann Lillycrap. Of course, Sue-Ann, you know Gwen very well, and these are just horrible pictures to look at on there.
Yeah, my heart breaks for her, you know, when I seen her go down, it was kind of not in contact. She grabbed her knee straight away, and really feel for Gwen there. She's fought really hard back for injury, put in a huge shift, and her first game back since her ankle injury. So I hope she's okay, but my heart breaks for her, yeah.
But there's a responsibility on now, Hannah Jones, to motivate her players to not necessarily forget about what's happened to Gwen, but certainly to focus and concentrate on the game at hand, and that can be difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's been a great start for Wales, from that turnover from Gwenny P to begin with, to then a great scrum by the front rowers, to a great driving maul. You know, so good start. They need to focus on the job in hand now and get back to how they started the game.
Jones, the hooker for Ireland.
Leave it now.
Matt McWilliams saying she's one of the best players he's ever worked with. She's a very exciting prospect. There's a number of players in this squad. Hogan was the carry there. This is on Zhugang, tight end. Ireland enjoying the lion's share of possession. And they are looking to play. Doyle on the far side, held up by the Welsh defence as a maul. And this could well turn into another scrum, and it's Anna Snowsill in and amongst it. That's a good defensive set for Johan Cunningham's players.
Really good defensive set. That to me is an indicator of a team that are in control in their defence, because you have to have the communication there to hold up a player, get everyone else in and go for that hold up to create that turnover. So you can see here, look, Eleanor Snowsill leading the way. She knew as soon as she hit the player and she got the ball, she was at chest height, a legal contact. You're in a really strong position to stay up high and hold the player up. So really good experience shown there from the Welsh fly half.
Well, if you've ever been at Cardiff Arms Park, you'll know that the wind comes straight off the tap into town, and it was very breezy walking into the stadium. So this certainly is a 5, 10, 15-point win, to use the old cliche, in Wales's favour.
Yeah, it certainly is. You know, and with the development of 50-22s, we know how much of an attacking weapon that can be. If you kick the ball from in your own half and it goes out in the opposition's 22, you get the line out. I'd be surprised if Wales don't try and utilise that today.
Let's go. Crouch.
You can see Sinead Harris playing 8, who's on for Gwen Crabb. Not a bad replacement.
I know, exactly. This is testament to the strength and depth, you know. Unfortunately, we haven't got Alicia Butcher. She was injured in the World Cup. But you know what? Here steps up Georgia Evans, a fantastic player. You can just see her there with the bow. That's Georgia Evans. You know, this is the development of this Welsh team. The strength and depth, players they've got to call upon.
Sinead Harris, one of those players who's decided to stay in full-time employment as a teacher. In one sense, that may well count against her, because she has less time to work and concentrate on rugby.
Unfortunately, yeah, we're in a bit of a, you know, it's a transition point, isn't it, of professional game for the women, and you've got some women like Sinead Harris, who's worked incredibly hard, juggling rugby and her career, and has got her career to a great point, whereas now, unfortunately, she can't actually afford to be professional. So it is that transition period, but it's got to start from somewhere. And at least we can see all the youngsters in the team can take those contracts.
Penalty coming. Cecilia Tupelotu has sucked another one from the referee. Loose pass. Yeah.
Loose angle.
I think an important point to made, a distinction, I guess, between the men's and the women's game. So often we see at elite level in the women's game that the best forward in terms of ball carrying and ball ability is a prop. And it's interesting that Tuipulotu is now being deployed as a prop, because you get two for the price of one. You get the ball carrying and you get this destruction at scrum time.
She is honestly such a threat. She's such a fantastic find for Wales. And the great thing is she's only 19, you know. Gosh, how many World Cups has she got ahead of herself? And equally, yes at prop, yes in forwards, but you know what? She's slotting comfortably in the centre as well.
Oh, that move had worked in terms of fooling the Irish defence, but Wales weren't quite on point. Pearce, who got a valuable turnover early in the game, now she's got a big carry. Calendar, scorer over the first try. Ireland compete at the deck. Dummy runner Georgia Evans through the back. Keats, Neumann, woman against woman, and she beats the defender. This is good from Wales. It's patient, but they're mixing it up at the same time. Georgia Evans, wearing 6, but will be playing second row for the rest of the game. Tuipulotu, we've seen her at scrum time. What about the power? Not bad. Again they come. Bethan Lewis, number 8. They built an advantage numerically on the left-hand side. If they give it, Lake is direct. Wales are purring in the Arms Park sunshine. Fleming within a metre or so. Bevan forced to join the ruck, so she allows Lewis to pick and go. That's how close Wales are to a second try. Disrupted by Ireland, but it's gone backwards. Bevan sneaks through. Ciara Bevan gets it down. Try number 2. What a start to the competition for the women in red.
And what's key here is, just like you said, how they're mixing it up. They're not predictable at all. You've got forwards carry, then you've got some movement in the backs, then they're cutting against the grain. It's a sign of a really confident team, and they completely had Ireland on the run. Just slow defence there from the Irish girls. The 2 girls basically left and right of the ruck. They're your guards. They're the players that should be on the height and most alert, because that's where you're at your most vulnerable, right by the ruck for snipes like this. And you can just see there the Irish players too slow to react. Ciara Bevan, classic 9, always looking for that half a gap around the edge of the ruck.
You've got enough time at the moment. We've got about 30 seconds now.
Brilliant start from Wales. They're building, putting points on the scoreboard. You know, they scored plenty of points last Six Nations campaign, 69, the best since 2009. But it's the fact they scored most of them in the latter stages of the game. To see them start, score early, brilliant progression.
Haven't got it. Little chip kick over the top. Ciara Bevan sweeps and she's away. Oh, great footwork by the number 9 as she's going herself. Goal is back. Wales are flying.
They really are, and again, Ciara Bevan finding that half a gap. Love the fact that their first instinct, getting the ball in their own half, is to counter-attack. Where's the gaps? Where can I go? Ciara Bevan looks sniping, lovely bit of footwork. Looking for the support, there's no one on her shoulder, so she keeps the ball alive by kicking it to where the support are. And I can tell you, I've played against Shannon Harris many a time, and she is the last person you want running at you when you're trying to gather a bobbling rugby ball.
Okay, thank you.
Let's get some insight from the Ireland camp, from Ireland Centre. Senini, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Wales' set-piece execution. I think defensively, they've just been able to get off the line and put pressure on the Irish attack. Irish have actually been attacking quite deep, and that's all credit to connection and line speed from Wales, forcing that turnover. 2 tries off a scrum execution has been pretty impressive. So it's a strong start to Wales against Ireland. So hopefully we take this line out and make it to the 3rd phase in this.
Thank you, Sinead. It's worth underlining the fact that this wind is more than the breeze, and it's direct into Ireland's faces. And speaking of wind, that's a great drive that Wales put on that counter maul. Ireland lost a bit of shape here. Monaghan.
Can't play, this player's offside. Slowing the ball, she's not retreating. Offside.
Monaghan's down as well. Referee Amber McLaughlin gives the penalty.
Time off.
Interesting for Greg McWilliams and the Ireland coaches here, because it is difficult when the wind is in your faces. Options are limited, aren't they?
Yeah, even when the wind's sort of coming against you, it can still alter the flight of the ball when you're passing it left and right. So it can, hinder play a little bit. But equally, I just don't feel this Irish team look very settled, and that's credit to Wales. The amount of pressure that they've put on so early on. I think Ireland are really struggling to just get a feel for the game at the moment. Every time they try and build something, Wales turns it over or drives them back. And you think a majority of the game so far has been played in the Irish half. This will be key for them now. Get a good bit of distance on this kick. Get a set piece. Oh, that's not what they needed.
Yeah, Cronin sliced it off the outside of the boots, and it went, if anything, parallel across field. Not the easiest when you leave Jones as well, so she goes to the safety of front ball.
Ball's there.
And Zhugang, try scorer in the corresponding fixture last year, which was a real humdinger of a game. Dealey floats it out to Doyle, rangy right winger. Wales, through Sinead Harris, slow things. And Ireland do well to keep possession. Just about McGrath that was. Big hit on Dealey. And Wales are matching Ireland physically right now. And with this wind, the Irish are determined not to put boot to ball. But Breen, the inside centre, forced to roll back inside. Cronin crossing, say the supporters, passes over the top, and that's another solid defensive set from Wales.
A really solid defensive set. They just kept coming up and putting pressure on. And as much as, yes, Ireland can't go for a territorial kick, so like a distance kick, what you can do with this kind of swirling wind is just put a bomb up. So putting it up really high, just to try and cause some confusion for the Welsh back line. Because at the moment, Wales are looking very organised and very comfortable. Ireland need to do something to try and change that picture.
Great off the top ball. Bethan Lewis, Tuipulotu. 3 defenders dragged into the tackle. It's a little bit slow. Snowsill, Neumann, great passing. Williams-Morris, acceleration back inside. Wales sniffing for a third here. Powell, O'Kaylee Jones, Evans, big hit on Georgia Evans. They'd lined her up. But it's still Welsh possession. Snowsill, Tuipulotu. Up into the end of the first quarter of this game, and it's Hannah Jones this time. Skipper, now that Siwan Lillicrap has hung up the boots.
No, back.
Bevan, Pearce. Ireland slightly passive defensively there, and there may be an opportunity again, or Calendar. offered herself as a runner. She's taken a knock as well, but I think it's more frustration than anything else because Wales were certainly knocking on the door there.
They really were, and that inside ball was the perfect option, just as you could start to see the Irish defence struggling to keep up with play. They're not going to be watching the ball back inside. When you're really frantic in defence, you're looking at the person in front of you and then where the ball is going to go outwards. Very rarely do you check back in, and you can see there the body position of the Irish defence. Hips have been turned outwards, and so with that, their line of sight. So the ball back inside would have been the perfect option. But how good a first game is this girl having? Her first start in at prop, and she is just ticking every box. Cecilia Tuipulotu.
And Ella Snowsill conducting things. It's really interesting how the kicking responsibility, not only off the tee, but also from Rex and from phase play, being shared by her and Kira Bevan. And Snowsill's strength, fair to say, is dictation of play, getting other people into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for too long, all the pressure has been put on Eleanor Snowsill to do all the kicks, to manage the team, to run the game. So it's great now to see Kira Bevan stepping up, and you know how we saw in the World Cup that game against Scotland. She stepped up in the biggest, most high-pressure point possible. So it's really good for Eleanor Snowsill to have that teammate and a player that she plays week in, week out for Bristol Bears with, so they know one another inside and out, and she can share that responsibility with her.
Ireland's got 5 for HIA. Do we have a replacement?
HIA for Monaghan.
Yep, cool. Thank you.
So
we're just getting a lock replacement.
Is on for the time being. Safety first, clearly.
Better on the
so
timing.
2 tries for Wales in the opening quarter. They've lost Gwen Crabb to what seems like a very serious injury, and we are crossing our fingers in terms of her recovery.
Right. Let's go.
But no complaints for Johan Cunningham and his coaching staff.
No, if anything, they've left 1 or 2 out there with just a bit of a nervy start, you know, that missed pass. But otherwise, the fact that they've regrouped, reshaped, gone again, got points on the board early. Great start to their campaign.
Crouch! Bind!
All eyes will be on Cecilia Tuipulotu here. Up against Sive McGrath. And McGrath was going backwards, but Ireland did well to get it away, and Breen bangs it over the touchline, and Ireland are up there 22.
Red ball.
Tiniest bit of pressure release there for Ireland. I think it's worth giving some context. You know, this Irish team, they are going through quite a transition. They've got some really exciting young players there. It was the first time that we had the Celtic Challenge Cup played out this year, which gave opportunity for development players of Wales, Scotland and Ireland to get some game time at a high level, and Ireland have selected quite a few players from that. So they're very much looking towards the future, blooding in some younger players.
Bethan Lewis was the option at line-out, and Wales are over the 22. Johan Cunningham's women have had all the ball, and they are hunting for try number 3. Cecilia Tuipulotu, not for the first time offered as a ball carrier. George Evans again, the dummy runner. Anna Jones bounces out of a tackle. Good strength by her. Lake back in to Bethan Lewis. Some neat patterns of play from Wales here. They're not overplaying it at the same time. They're varying their patterns at the same time.
Yeah, they certainly are, and I always think a sign of a team that's overplaying is when no one's following the ball carrier because they've gone off on their own or it's frantic play. But even though we're seeing change of direction, passes inside, outside, the player who's carrying the ball always has someone with them. So you know that's part of the game plan, that's how they're comfortable to play.
2 years ago, Ireland was scoring 40 points here at the Arms Park. It was the bottom of the darkest of pits. But 2 years later, Wales are rumbling, and Wales are driving, and Wales are scoring. It's been the perfect start to this year's competition. Sinead Harris onto the field, and the Arms Park enjoying themselves. in this year's 2023 Women's Six Nations. Try number 3, this time is Sinead Harris. And you're smiling, Villa.
I am. I'm just so happy for these women. You know, they're getting finally the support, the resources that they've been asking for so many years. And just look at how different they are playing the game now. They are enjoying the game. We are seeing the best of these individuals. It's inspiring and it's entertaining, which is what we're loving as well.
Bevan in the wind and the rain in the World Cup against Scotland, and a kick to win the game. Less pressure on this one, but the result is equal, and Wales are up to 19.
Best possible start for Wales, we keep saying it. It's composed, it's accurate, they look comfortable, but they're playing with an intensity as well. And like you say, so crucial, not overplaying, playing with intensity and variety. At the moment, it's just too much for this Irish team. You know, they made a big decision this year not to involve their Irish Sevens players, which they utilised last year. We've got some incredible athletes in the Irish Women's Sevens team, but they are hunting down Olympic qualifications, so a lot of those players are away on the HSBC series, which is why we're seeing such a transition in this Irish team.
That was knocked on, surely. No.
Tackle relief!
Says the referee. I think we'll just pause with the commentary to let you enjoy hymns and arias for a second.
Use now. Let's use it, 9.
Breen said he was out, and she didn't bother touching Bevan. And here's Ireland through Cronin. Interesting that she was given the nod at 10. O'Brien is seen as many as the future of Irish rugby are to have, but it's Cronin who's been asked to fulfil the duties. Jones. Ireland happy to keep ball through Hogan, the number 8. But Wales know this, and they can add numbers to the line. Williams-Morris came off a wing to put a forceful hit on the Irish midfield, and again they're keeping ball, but they're not getting much yardage out of this Wales defence. Jugan. Finally, the kick is taken, and that bounce takes it over the touchline, and Wales once again will be able to reset and restart with 26 minutes on the clock and a 19-0 lead.
Yeah, Ireland just really struggling to relieve any pressure at the moment, not getting much distance on those clearance kicks, and then having a real battle at set piece with Wales as well.
Red, come up on the line. Let's go.
Cecilia Tuipulotu is lurking with intent in midfield here. She was a dummy decoy, and George Evans was the recipient, but she'd drawn 2 defenders there, hadn't she, her presence.
That's it, that is the threat of her.
Hannah Jones, who's seen that gap, that bit of light on the outside shoulder a couple of times. Here is Tuipulotu combining with Evans in midfield, the 2 big carriers for Wales. And there's Sinead Harris on the field as well now, so options are varied, although Harris didn't expect that pass, and it's
first one by Red,
rather
then by
untidy
Green.
from Wales.
Yeah, just
Green
a little bit
stuff.
of a confusion there with the calls. I think Sinead Harris wanted that ball going out one wider, whereas Eleanor Snooser was looking for one more carry.
I was happy for the K, but yeah, but they're struggling to stay in front.
Good defensive set there from Ireland. Wales really had a rumble on, quick rucks,
Let's go.
bringing players in. Yeah, it was definitely the call would actually have been out the back, because you had a wall of forward runners there in front of Eleanor Sosa. She could have put the ball behind to the back line. They could have been in acres of space.
It's interesting for Wales having lost Siwan Lillicrap, Alicia Butchers, who fair to say has been the most talented player, or the Wales' best player of the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
The referee was about to give a penalty, but Ireland keep possession. That was Behan, who we've barely mentioned. It's laborious stuff. And there's some off-field scuffling happening. And it's worth keeping an eye on this, because just off camera, 3 or 4 players are still fighting on the floor whilst the rest of the players continue. Anyway, the referee will have to intervene, because that fight has gone on for a while. Keats gets it away to Williams-Morris. The players have stopped scuffling for the time being. We're going back to the action, to Alice Callender. Sioned Harris using her footwork, turning her back, NFL style twist. Bevan, Wales kicking. That's a good kick by Ciara Bevan. That's a real find.
That is a very good kick.
50-22.
And it's a 50-22.
This side of the line.
Fantastic, even better. That means Wales get the line out. And I'm laughing even more because Ciara Bevan was just at the bottom of that scuffle and ran directly to that ruck, and the only thing she did was adjust her hair, put her hair back in a bun, and then picked up the ball and just nailed a 50-20.
But no foul play.
Yeah, we didn't see it on camera, but there was an altercation between a number of players that went on for a good 30-40 seconds.
There was a bit of a discussion there, wasn't there?
Red in.
Just the 2 kicks for Ireland.
Down by red.
Karen Lake, another who likes running straight and hard and drawing in defenders. Abby Fleming with 4 on her back. Ciara Bevan, Snow Silk, Hannah Jones. Beautiful pass at the 9 forward. Not sure if Hannah Jones agrees, but the referee was in the right spot.
Oh, frustration there for Lisa Neumann, the winger. Getting a ball like that with a good 2 or 3 meters left and right of you to play with. That's dreamland, that's what you want as a winger. Ball from Hannah Jones. Oh, well, the referee was in the best position to call it. That's a tight one.
Another scrum, let's play on. Huh? Is there any in the scrum? We're playing on. Playing on.
Over 4,500 tickets sold before today. There'll be a decent walk up with the weather. And they've been entertained, haven't they?
They certainly have. Yeah, this is the busiest I've seen the Cardiff Arms Park at a Women's International for a long time. What a fantastic treat for the spectators and also for the players, you know. Yes, they're playing that game because they love it, but they're also representing their nation, and they do it with the utmost pride. And to have people here cheering them on, it's just that extra element of motivation. Really good to see from both teams' perspective. The penalty counts have been kept down. These teams were both the worst offenders in the last Six Nations. Wales receiving the most amount of cards, 4 yellows in total. So yes, it's easier to keep your penalty count down when you're very dominant, but still, it's good to see them making good decisions at the ruck area, where quite often you'd see teams giving away penalties. At the moment, both teams just 3 penalties each.
The winner's on for Teely at full-back. 3 tries for Wales. Alice Callender, Kira Bevan and Charlotte Harris. But the big talking point has been the scrum. And thanks to the power of Cecilia Tuipulotu has given poor Steve McGrath a terrible time on her debut. And that's the danger with putting an 18-year-old in the front row to make your international debut in the Six Nations.
Yeah, it is. I mean, she impressed in the Celtic Challenge Cup. Plays her provincial rugby at Ulster, and you know she is receiving a lot of plaudits, but equally you've got to be blood in at some point, and it is a short World Cup cycle for these women because the World Cup last year was meant to be played in 21, it wasn't because of COVID, so it's 22, so they've got a very short window to blood in new players, and this is a bit of a baptism of fire for her.
Bind. Set.
That's a good shunt from Ireland, and Shona has had to dig it out. There's Karen Lake. Oh, what a pen by the centre to her partner in crime, Hannah Jones, and she is mobbed by her teammates because Wales have a bonus point in the first half. Never in his wildest dreams would Johan Cunningham have expected an opening 40 quite like this one. Wales 24, Ireland 0. What about this handoff?
And it was just half a break, wasn't it? But Karen Lake showing that strength with that perfectly timed handoff to the chest, pushing away that tackle. But look, keeping that awareness. Eyes up, ears open, Hannah Jones on the shoulder. Beautiful play.
Sit down.
Just selfless play as well, isn't it? You know, I've done my bit. What can I do now to put someone else into space? You know, Wales scored tries last year, but it was mostly through the forwards, so it's really good to see them developing now this backline attack.
Well, Hannah Jones scored one of the most important tries in Welsh rugby history against Ireland last season. This one, perhaps a little bit less on the block, but it just showed strength and communication skills from her partner, Karen Lake, and that's the bonus point. There's a charge down. And Wales cannot afford to be complacent, but they do get the penalty. And Eleanor Snowsill did ever so well to recover the situation there.
Yeah, brilliant defensive work there from the Irish forwards, getting that charge down. Unfortunately, they've just been pinged for going off their feet, so they can challenge the player on the ground, but they've got to let them get up first. Unfortunately, the two Irish forwards so keen to get there.
Well, one player who sadly isn't on the field right now is Alicia Butchers, but she's with Laura.
Thanks, Gareth. Yes, player of the match in this game last year. Not on the field because you suffered quite a serious knee injury in the World Cup. Firstly, Alicia, how are you? When can we expect to see you back?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. My rehab and recovery has been going well, and you know I feel really lucky that I get this opportunity to be here today. A different role than normal, but I'm here with the girls, so I'm really happy about that.
A word on the pack, clearly giving you a strong platform into this game. 2 more tries, and Cecilia Tuipulotu. You watch her and you think she could play anywhere on the pitch, potentially, but she's looking very comfortable in that creature.
Yeah, she's outstanding. I mean, she's had a really quick start into her international career, but she's shown here today why. The scrum has been outstanding. I think it's you know, been one of our platforms to play off, and I think that's really exciting for Cecilia, so I'm really happy for her.
Back to the action.
I was going to ask you how many points you think this wind is worth, but I imagine with bonus point 30-minute mark is more than Johan Cunningham could have hoped for.
100%, you know, vibe's been really good in the camp, and we're really excited about how we're going. I got to go.
Thank you. Alicia is on water duties, and she's also a bit of a motivational speaker on that pitch this afternoon, so back to you, Gareth.
Cheers, Lauren. Busy young woman is Alicia Butchers. It's good to see that the knee's okay. She's back on with the water. And I mentioned it earlier, what a player.
Oh,
she is.
What a player. Yeah, absolutely. She's as comfortable on the 15s field as she is on the 7s field. That's testament to her fitness levels, her work ethic, her ability to put in those big passes. She's speedy as well, deceivingly quick. So yeah, real shame that we're not seeing her in this campaign, but I have no doubt she will be coming back fitter, faster, stronger, and even in better shape.
Yeah. Back on the road to recovery. And that's another thing that a professional contract allows you, is the ability to recover, because in the past other people would have jobs and that could affect your own professional career, couldn't it?
Well, absolutely, and Alicia Butchers is actually testament to that. It was only a couple of years ago she had a serious leg injury and she had to crowd fund to pay for her operation, whereas now she's professional, she's being taken care of, looked after properly.
You're okay, 12?
Still another injury at the minute. I think it's to Breen, the centre for Ireland. It's been a stop-start. If you're just joining us, 4 tries to Wales. Calendar, Bevan, Harris, Jones. There was an early injury to Gwen Crabb, who departed in some severe pain. But when you speak of 35 minutes that had been in the planning for a long time, this could not have gone much better. And as for the Ireland coaches, Ireland of course didn't make the World Cup last year after a disastrous qualifying campaign, and they did play against Japan, but it's clear that this is an Irish side in full reset mode, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. That really shocked the rugby world. To see a World Cup without Ireland in it was such a shame, and they are going through that rebuilding process, and like I say, they're really trying to separate themselves now from the 7s and the 15s programs, making them separate entities, but they have now got contracts in place for their 15s program, so they're going to take a little bit of pain in this Six Nations, I dare say, but it's all looking to gear towards performing the best at the next World Cup.
There we go. And that is the boost that Steve McGrath really needed, because she's finally found her mojo, and it was Wales who were going backwards.
Yeah, you know, when you've got score lines like this at half-time, you've got to talk about certain elements of performance, and one thing Greg McWilliams is going to talk about is the fact that Wales have been so dominant in the scrum, but this forward pack have learned, they've grown, they've stayed in the fight, and they've come away with a dominant performance like that just before half-time, which is key.
We mentioned it's a 10, 15-point win potentially. It's not a 26-point win, is it?
No, it's certainly not. No.
Another error by Ireland, and Ish. Jugan, who cleans things up. Hogan, number 8, carried impressively so far. Ireland have spent a lot of time in that middle part of the ground between 22 and halfway line. They just cannot get out and get out with any territory. And they'll go again. Nicola Friday, talismanic second row skipper for Ireland. Wild pass, and Breen is going backwards. She's been chased down by Sinead Harris, who grabs her shirt, and now Ireland all of a sudden are back in their own 22, and they've got to rebuild again.
Yeah, and like you say, as much as you can't maybe use that territorial kick because of that swirling wind, it'll just push the ball back. Something like a grubber kick, just putting it in behind the Welsh defence, making them turn and reset. Because at the moment, they're playing into the Welsh defensive hands.
Another jackal by Gwenllian Pearce. She did it in the opening 5, she's just done it again.
Yeah, and this is, again, that progression, that fitness element. You've got a front row that are not only completely fronting up, as it were, in a scrum, but their mobility around the park and affecting situations like this ruck. Look, strong body position, straight in over the ball, completely in control. Fantastic flexibility, strength, brilliant work.
Loose throw. So it may well be an A- report card at half-time as opposed to an A. Few bits and bobs needed to
Knock on
execute.
advantage over.
Ireland going the long way. Doyle. Ball spilt and it's knocked on. Wales possession again. So the half started with an Alex Callender driving maul try. Kira Bevan sniped around the fringes to get a second. Shauna Harris before the centre partnership
Let's go.
of Karen Lake and Hannah Jones got Wales the bonus point. Later this afternoon, Scotland away in Newcastle against defending champions England, and then in Parma tomorrow, Italy against France.
Set.
Final action of a near perfect first half for Wales. Keat, Neumann, buzz of anticipation echoing around the Arms Park. Good tackle on George Evans. Wales could put this out and end the half, but they have the wind on their backs. Alex Callender isolated, but Shauna Harris, she dived in from the side. She didn't have much option, and she's penalised.
It will be, so you can tap and kick it out.
Unsurprisingly, Ireland bang it straight off the field and rush back into the sheds. Wales will take a second to gather themselves, walk in together. Plenty to reflect from an Irish perspective, so much to enjoy from a Welsh point of view. At half-time, it's Wales who lead, and they lead very comfortably.
Well, it has been one-way traffic during that first half. 4 unanswered tries for Wales. Hannah Jones, the captain, securing the bonus point before half-time. Ireland really struggling to make their mark on this match. Well, let's have a little look at the stats then. They tell the story, don't they? But possession quite equal between the two sides. Territory, Wales dominate. Penalties conceded, it's even. And then tackles made, Wales 77, Ireland 70. Carries very much equal as well, but Wales have been dominant with those tackles. So Wales lead 26-0 at half-time, and Siwan, I'm sure when Johan Cunningham went to bed last night, that first 40 minutes, beyond his wildest dreams.
Yeah, absolutely. What a start for the girls. And it started with that first scrum of the game. You know, 1 minute in, dominant scrum, penalty. But what a start. You couldn't ask for it. Set piece is functioning superbly. The girls are up for this game and they're getting over the gain line.
And as for Ireland, they are struggling, as I said. For you, what's not going right for them at the moment?
Oh, in fairness, I think the decision to go with the wind from Wales at the start was key in terms of how effective their defensive sets are, and that's putting Ireland under serious pressure. And when you're in positions where it's not as easy to kick for territory, it's making it very difficult, but also equally for Wales, it gives them that dominant line speed.
We were talking before the match and we were just wondering how Tupelotu would do in that front row. First scrum of the game and we get our answer, pretty sharpish.
Yeah, absolutely. First scrum of the game, she stamps her authority on that. Then they get a penalty, kick to corner, great driving maul. Look at the setup, execution of line-out. But look at Cecilia Tupelotu here. Look at the force and power. She's navigating that scrum at the front. They find an edge. And be patient in there. Wales are absolutely patient. They're confident with their structures. And then Alex Callender goes over. You know, they don't panic at all here. And then Alex Callender goes over and there's a massive Welsh celebration. But a really good finish as well.
Alex Callender, so dominant during the World Cup, a real standout performer. That second try for Wales, a similar dominance with the physicality with the forwards.
Oh, absolutely. Wales were dominant on defence, won the ball back, managed to work through these phases. Look how comfortable Kieran is at the back there controlling those pods. Target rucks there, they know the pick and go, where to target here, and she just has a look at this space, steps off her left, has a look over the line, and takes that try for Wales for that second.
Nobody is going to stop her there.
No, and she'd be so happy with that. But also, look at the work you've just seen. Gwentley and Pearson there as well. She steps up, actually blocks Sam Monaghan from coming in to make that tackle, and Kira identifies that, so that's really good identification.
A really nasty injury for Gwen Crabb during that first half. Really disappointing to see her once again after battling back from a broken leg. But Sinead Harris coming on as a substitute and getting that third try.
Yeah, absolutely. Always an impact Sinead brings, and a huge amount of experience. And her finish there, it was absolutely superb. The maul goes down, but she knows exactly where the try line is, and that reach and finish shows Sinead's experience really showing through there.
And then a bonus point before half-time. Hannah Jones, captain, centre, getting that all-important fourth and that bonus point, as I said.
Absolutely. Super scrum from Wales. And they just go for that miss one pass. Kira Lake with the super inside ball to her captain Hannah to get over the line. And defensively, it's super hard to defend a miss one. If you're going to go, you've got to go from that first receiver position. And that's where Ireland got a bit caught out defensively.
For now, thank you very much. Let's get some more reaction, shall we? Philippa is with Lauren.
She is, and she's absolutely buzzing after this 40 minutes of rugby, Philippa. We know every team in the Six Nations is professional in some shape or form, but did that first 40 clearly show that some teams are further down the line than others, and Wales are, a year and a bit further ahead than Ireland?
Yeah, absolutely. You could see with their composure, they're playing with intensity, which shows fitness, but they're not overplaying, which shows composure. And they look so comfortable together. And that's going to happen. The more time you spend together, the more time you play together, it's going to result in moments like that. And I'm buzzing to see this crowd here, biggest crowd I've seen for a while, and they are being entertained.
Yeah, we were hearing people were queuing to get in even after kick-off. But I talked about the pack with Alicia. Could have easily talked about the backs and the way they were varying the point of attack. Is that what suits you most?
Oh, absolutely. Because we've always known Wales have had good forwards, and they've always scored up front off driving line-out mauls and whatnot. But to see that centre combination between Karen Lake and Hannah Jones, it's gelling. They're getting the ball into the wide channels, and they're proving a real threat. The variety of attack and how they're scoring their tries is what's impressed me most.
And just a short word on Gwen Crabb. We've seen her on crutches. We don't know the extent of the injury. She's looking quite distressed, and having just come back from an injury, it's a huge blow for her on a personal level.
It really is, because she is a real asset to this Welsh team, a young player that is so professional. She works so hard, and she's had to come through this before, so it's sad, but I have no doubt that she will come back even stronger.
But if I get back to that commentary point, thank you very much.
Well, 4 tries in all for Wales. Another opportunity to watch Kira Bevan getting the second of the game. It's all smiles at half-time here at the Arms Park. Well, following this match, England, the favourites for the title, they take on Scotland, 4:45 that one on BBC One. Sonia McLaughlin is in Kingston Park for us.
Well, there's a bit of emotion swirling around Kingston Park today, because local favourite Sarah Hunter, the England skipper, is calling time on her illustrious career after today's women's match in the Six Nations between England and Scotland. Former Scotland prop Heather Lockhart is with me. England will say, Heather, look, it's just another game. But it's not, is it? How might that impact them today, do you think?
Yeah, obviously there's been a phenomenal build-up this week, and congratulations to Sarah on such a fantastic career. But I think as soon as the whistle goes today, it's game on. She'll be the sports person she is, and the whole team as well, and channeling that emotion, and they'll want to do her proud and do her justice today in front of a home packed-out crowd. So it'll just be going to be a fantastic match.
It's been a tough old time for Scotland of late. 9 defeats on the spin, but they've got professional contracts for the very first time. How might that impact them? Could we see the benefit of that during the Six Nations?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. It's just a fantastic thing. And I think psychologically, to know even for training the last 3 weeks, they had weekends off, they had downtime. And I think as well, the match experience game from the narrow losses last year in the Six Nations and the World Cup. And hopefully they'll put that to good use, the match experience, and just manage the second half a wee bit better and turn those narrow losses into wins.
I've seen England described as vulnerable, if the Red Roses could ever be described in that fashion, because they've got so many injuries. Is it a good time, though, for Scotland to play them?
I think it's just always a fantastic honour for both sides. England against Scotland is such an amazing match-up, 31 times played, but I think Scotland will be looking to do themselves justice. They'll be under no illusions. England's packed 486 caps between them, Marley Packer 90th cap today, so they're going to have to be at their very best defensively. Chloe Rowley, however, scored against England last year. They lost 57-5, and she'll be looking to cross the whitewash again today, along with debutant Fran McGee, who starts in the left wing, a former ballet dancer, so she'll be dancing down that left wing. Watch out for her.
We will. Good luck to Fran. We look to see how she goes today. Gabby and the gang will be here at 4:15. England, Scotland, TikTok Women's Six Nations. It kicks off at 4:45. See you then.
It's very calm, isn't it, at Kingston Park? Much more life here at the Cardiff Arms Park, where these fans are really enjoying themselves. England, that disappointment of the World Cup, I wonder, will that spur them on? Because they are once again the favourites for the title, aren't they, Senny?
Oh yeah, the first game out for England after the final of the World Cup. Obviously a huge occasion for the Angel of the North, Sarah Hunter, 141 caps. All of the English internationals who've been playing in the Allianz Premiership have been on fire. So it'll be some spectacle, I think, against a Scotland side that will need to be ready for that challenge.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Scotland get on, because they are Wales's next opponents next week.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure the guys will have a firm eye on it. And Scotland have experienced quite a lot of heartache over the Six Nations and what happened there. And they'll be wanting to put a lot right this campaign. But it's always a tough start when you face England. But England have a lot of changes in their squad since the World Cup as well. So I'm sure they'll be looking to cause an upset today. A lot of those girls have been on form in Allianz 15s for Scotland. Majority of them play over in England. So I'm sure it'll be a challenge, but I'm sure England will be looking to put a win under their belts for Sarah Hunter. What a legend.
Very much looking forward to that game later on this afternoon. Well, as we know, rugby really is a sport for everybody, and that includes pupils at Britain's largest special education school in Penarth. They've been preparing for their own Six Nations, and this week they had a very special visit from some of the girls in the Wales squad.
Guys, we ready for a rugby session? Let's go, let's go, let's go. We got a big surprise for you today. So we've managed to get in 3 of the international girls who are playing for Wales on Saturday against Ireland. Okay, so do you want to just give them all a big round of applause for me and welcome them in? Are we all up for it? Yeah. Good, like only Noah is, but that's fantastic.
3, 2, 1, off you go!
We look at autism, physical disabilities, Down syndrome, behavioural and kind of outside kind of social anxiety needs and trauma needs.
And pass it to me. Good job.
I think it's great to show the kids that they can do these things. It's the options and the avenues are out there, and we're here to help them achieve that. And to see the girls coming in, happy, sprightly, looking forward to it, game face on.
Oh, you're supposed to go over first.
It's trying to get a little bit more exposure to that and to show everyone that actually, doesn't matter where I'm from, sport is available to absolutely everyone.
1, 2, 3, show! Oh, well done, team!
Today we were rugby because I go play rugby.
It makes me feel great. Get my blood pumping, get ready to run all around. Well, pretty tiring, but it's good.
I think rugby's, built for people of all shapes and sizes, and it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. Everyone can give the game a go. When I was in school, I didn't get a chance to play rugby, and I would have loved to have given it a go. So I think all the opportunities that are about, especially for young girls nowadays, to give rugby a go. It's really important to grow the game.
So I don't know if you know, tomorrow we've got, you got your first starter on Saturday of the Six Nations against Ireland, I've heard. We've got our Six Nations tournament, our equivalent tomorrow. So I want to just ask you, what do you do to kind of prepare, and any tips?
I think I get nervous before every game. My dad used to say, if you're not nervous, you're not ready.
No, you definitely just go out there, enjoy it. I think it's the most important thing. So as long as you're having fun, you'll enjoy.
We concentrate on life skills and social skills, and using, for me personally, it's about using the medium of sport to teach those kids that. Good tackle, Charlie, well done. They're playing with kids they've never met before, and today, without actually knowing it at all, they've learned so many things, not just about rugby. I think rugby is that tiny medium that we've used to teach them a lot about what they can and what they're capable of doing.
Day so far?
Gives you that kind of cliche, warm, fuzzy feeling inside, if I'm honest.
If you haven't seen the series, it is definitely worth a watch. A special school available now on the iPlayer. Heartwarming stuff. Right then, we have a few moments left of half-time. Sene, I'm just wondering, this wind that's been swirling around the place, causing havoc, the famous Cardiff Arms Park weather, it will be in Ireland's favour. How do they exploit that now in the second half?
Oh, Ireland need to play a territory game. You need to play a territory game against a defensive weapon like that, and Wales have just shown how dominant, how connected, how quick their line speed is. And so if I were Ireland, I'd just use it, the wind, ping it down the corners and then play it up the pitch.
And as for Wales, they will want more tries. They'll be quite greedy now. Sean Connor has come in to help with that attack. Have you seen his influence this afternoon already?
Yeah, I have, you know, and I knew they were going to play a bit of a flatter game and exploit areas in attack that maybe we hadn't seen before. And we absolutely seen that with Kerry Lake going through the centre. So, yeah, Sean brings an enormous amount of energy, and I think the girls are loving learning off him. So he's a great addition to this side. You know, I think Wales' set pieces look dominant, but they're also looking threatening in other areas, which is a huge bonus.
I've been in camp actually with him there. It's all smiles. You can see that. Johan Cunningham enjoying having him there as well. How much are Ireland missing their sevens girls at the moment? They have an inexperienced backline, don't they?
Yeah, they are inexperienced, and we've actually got one back sub left to go, Dana O'Brien, so it'll be interesting to see when she comes on and how she's utilised.
And what about that Welsh bench? Anybody you'd like to see come on in the second half?
Well, they've got lots of experience on there. Carol Thomas, Shaky George has been outstanding with Gloucester Hartbury this year and offers something different from a 10's perspective. Massive boot on her, massive skill set and outstanding talent. So I'd like to see Shaky come on. And they've got experience on the bench as well that they can call upon.
Right then, let's go back to commentary. An intriguing second half in prospect. It's Philippa Tuttiett and Gareth Rhys-Owen.
Welcome back. Johan Cunningham, Wales head coach, just bumped into us, and his message to the players is really clear, really simple. Let's finish this off.
Nice. Last Six Nations, Wales became known as Cunningham's comeback queens, as they were leaving it to the very last minute to cross over the whitewash. Well, they have certainly started with the best possible way.
For Wales, that first half could not have gone better. For the Irish, they have the wind in the second half, but they have a mountain to climb. But it starts now. Monaghan, driven back by Pearce and by Sean and Harris. And the whooping and the hollering tells you everything about what the Welsh players think of that particular passage of play.
They're just creating these energising moments, aren't they? Big hits when they're connecting defensively, they're driving Ireland back, putting the pressure on. For Ireland, they've got to use a bit more of a strategic kicking game. They've got to try and relieve some pressure, because trying to carry it out against a very organised, look at that double hit there. Two players in perfect position to make a shot.
This will be your mark.
You can't carry out against a defence like that.
Come on. You're up here.
What a game Whitley and Pearce is having.
Absolutely fantastic game so far.
Well, the call at half-time would have been deja vu. And with 41 minutes on the clock,
Chase through the middle.
Wales are within touching distance again. Where's the ball then? There it is. Karen Lake stands expecting the ball. It's slow ball. So unsurprisingly, Lake just charges ahead and again gets over the game line. Tuipulotu, so powerful at scrum time, but also with ball in hand. George Evans drifts out of one tackle, but that's a big tackle on her. Wales will keep going in the same direction. Neumann with the carry. Patient play here. Bethan Lewis, leg drive from her and the support, but it's sacked. Now Wales may have an opportunity if they look to give it some width, but the forwards assume responsibility. Good defence from Ireland, but they're under the cosh. Tuipulotu! The new superstar of Welsh rugby is born. Cecilia Tuipulotu, destructive at scrum time, powerful ball in hand, and it's all smiles from her and her teammates. You do not stop her that short from the try line.
Fantastic awareness from her. Look, she's looking up, biding her time, waiting for the perfect moment. Ireland had switched off. They completely switched off defensively. But Cecilia Tuipulotu was certainly switched on to the tiniest little gap there. She can expose it with her strength and her power.
Good from Bevan. And that scoreline is starting to look rather ugly for Ireland.
Yeah, it really is. They're just struggling to get any kind of hold into this game. They haven't managed to string anything together in attack, and they just cannot relieve the pressure that Wales is putting on them. They're really getting pinned into their own half.
Okay. Yep. That's right. You roll. Have you got a clear knock on? Save me running all the way down there. Okay. No try, knock on.
Well, changing the law back in the day, I mean, I say back in the day, a year ago, once the conversion was taken,
green, it's in the field of play.
A try had to be given. But the TMO has intervened and it's come back and it's no try.
Yeah, claiming that there is a knock on somewhere. Hopefully, we might get to see a recap of where that happened.
It was on the try line.
Potentially they're thinking that Tuipulotu fumbled it as she tried to pick it up.
We're seeing Tempest, the TMO's call.
Time off. Do your lace up. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
So we're back to 26 points to nil.
Crouch.
And Ireland will want to get this in, out and away.
Set.
Stuff from McCabe. Feeds it. That's a solid platform. Breen. Ireland again rejecting the idea of kicking, but I think that was just to get a better angle, adjust the lines of sight and direction towards the touchline. And Cronin doesn't get a touch. William Morris straight into the tackle, but Doyle did well to hang on. Tuipulotu. Didn't get much of a run up. Ireland turn it over, illegally so though.
Cynical, knock on. Off we go. She's deliberately knocked it out of her hand. Deliberate knock on.
Frustrations from the Irish team starting to show through, so desperate to try and affect the situation. Claim their referee saw a deliberate knock-on, so it's cynical play. Not trying to go for a pass or an intercept, deliberately knocking there, see? Challenging the 9 with the ball.
Ireland down to 14 players. Nick of Aird in the bin. And Wales hungry for more. Just so many barren years. The women in red are starting to click. More scuffling off the ball. Meanwhile, Tuipulotu, this time she gets over. And this time she'll want assurances that this try is given. Cecilia Tuipulotu won't be denied second time around.
She is on fire. You just can't stop her. That close to the line. She has just got so much power and strength. It was a patient build-up here from Wales. Key was that recycling of the ball. They didn't force it. Remember now, if you get held up over the line, it's a turnover ball to the opposition. So you've got to be sure. And look at this, one-out runner. You don't normally like a player to run on their own, but you know what? With her, we'll make an exception.
I did say she wouldn't be denied. There was a scuffle off the ball, which didn't lead to any further sanctioning. So for now, Kira Bevan will have another opportunity to convert a Cecilia Tuipulotu try.
Just look at how many players just bounce off her. So hard to tackle.
Dana O'Brien is on the field. She's not carrying a number on the back, but she is number 22 officially. And it looks like she'll be slotting in at full-back.
6 needs to roll.
Wall penalised this time. I'm going to take you back, Philip Tetiet, to Wales-Ireland 2021, when Ireland win by 40 points, and it should have been more.
Yep.
Tears on the field.
There you go. Yeah.
Post-match with the Welsh players completely downbeaten, downtrodden. Must be a remarkable for somebody involved so heavily in the game as you are to see this turn around.
It's incredible, and I'm just so thankful that they've got what they deserve, the resources, the support. You know, in that particular game, Siwan Lillicrap gave a speech after, and she was in tears.
Sionet Harris over the game line. Numbers for Wales here. Hannah Jones, Keith running at the spaces, Williams Morris, and yet she lost possession, and that was inevitable really, because Wales did need someone to straighten.
Tackle! That's taken back. Tackle was outside. Taken back.
Oh. Well, no thank you. O'Brien got a terrible pass, but she really didn't fancy sticking hands on it either, so she tried to control it football style and got away with it, I'd say.
Great chase up there by Georgia Evans, really hustling that. That's twice now the 9-10 combo for Ireland. They're not helping one another out there.
Remember, BBC Two Wales tomorrow. Enormously important day for Welsh rugby. The EGM. The game is looking to reform itself, change the composition of the board. Scrum 5 will be there in Port Albert, bringing you the latest and of course extended highlights of this game and all the URC matches, including an Ospreys victory today. Calendar accelerates into contact. It's one of those games where you want possession, you want an opportunity to show yourself at your best. Hannah Jones, good tackle on her. Ireland have had to do so much defending. This time it's turned over.
Leave it.
They're waiting for Monaghan. She's done that time and time again. Just a single first step carry, and the likes of Tuipulotu, Pearce, Shauna Harris are just lined up, double teaming her. And Ireland a little bit disjointed, but that's a big kick, taking advantage of the wind. Keat. Yeah. Kira Bevan knew what she was doing there.
Yeah, she did. Great kick. That's the type of exiting kick Ireland need. It's just a shame that that's the first time we've seen it, and it's 51 minutes into the game.
Kira Bevan's body language there, the fact that she just turned on her heels immediately, wanted no discussion with the referee, suggested to me that she knew she was the guilty party in that particular incident. Yeah, that's the biggest kick of the game. 47.6 metres. O'Brien on for Cronin. Let's see how this changes the pattern of play for the Irish. Well, Ireland have struggled for 10 since Nora Stapleton retired. They've gone through a number of players. Many thought Dan O'Brien would be the future. Big call to pick Cronin instead of her. But for now, she allows the players and the forwards to continue trundling on. Moore is on at scrum half. Cronin, I say, is playing scrum half. Breen. Interesting. With Cronin playing 9, ooh, just held on to. Yeah. Scuffle McCabe is on the wing and she's given the side width, but they'll still keep it with the forwards. Good offload to Hogan.
Turnover good.
Another penalty. And this is Ireland's best passage of play for the whole match so far.
It is, and it's, you know, no coincidence it's come from a massive kick. It's that confidence boost. Yeah, we've got a bit of control in this game. Like I say, it's just a shame it's taken so long for them to utilise that, but still, they're in the right areas of the field. This is really their first proper chance at attack.
Are we good? Once we lose that bind, go to the back. Green 10, you can't be there. You go to the inline.
Months and months of training, preparing for moments like these. Yet Ireland have been starved of them for 53 minutes. Finally, the forwards get to go through their paces in the opposition 22, where they've been repelled. Well, Senna Nwopo's joining us. Senna, I wanted to bring you in just to ask you, firstly, do you see a sign of improvement for Ireland? And secondly, what difference has the change at 10 made?
Over there.
Yeah, it's great to see Diana O'Brien come on at 10. She's a natural 10 there, moves Nicole Cronin to scrum half. And we spoke at half-time, Shawana and myself, about that wind being a real key factor in terms of the team that gets the territory. So it's good to see the green side, good to see Ireland kick the ball for possession, for territory, sorry. but it's just the being able to execute it. Welsh too dominant now here.
Isn't it?
Crouch! The gap's okay, girls. You've got spaces. Yeah, then Rhea, just shuffle back then. Yeah, no, let him second now. Let's go. Big pressure. No, you're okay. You're okay. Crouch. Bind. Set.
It's that scrum again. And Wales are reaping the rewards of a dominant set piece. Ireland got field position, but they could do nothing with it, and now Wales have an opportunity to exit their 22.
They're just dominating every facet at the moment, aren't they? And they're doing it all with smiles on their faces. Every time these moments of play, just re-energising the Welsh team and just killing any momentum that Ireland are managing to develop.
What a moment for Kate Williams, a warfare officer for the Royal New Zealand Navy. 22 years old, born in Swansea, has played Super Rugby for the Blues, the Auckland Blues, but she decided to give it all up, to chance her arm, to play professional rugby, because that is the opportunity that's presented to players in Wales right now. And here she is, hoping to prove herself at this level.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? What a fantastic story. She was living down in New Zealand during the World Cup, so she joined in with the Welsh squad, did some training. She actually went onto the bench for Wales at one point, didn't get off, and now here she makes her debut. It's amazing, isn't it? Talk about inspiring people to play when you turn professional like this. It's reaching all corners of the world. Players are wanting to play for Wales.
Not straight. Outside. Scrum.
It's a cliche, isn't it? Inspiring, but then you look around this crowd. How many players? What was your worst ever attendance for a Wales international? I do jest, but I think it's worth it for context.
Oh yeah, let's put this into context. Okay, I started in 2006. You'd be lucky if there was maybe 100, 200 in the crowd, and that's mostly your family and friends. People didn't know about it unless they had a direct connection with the player on the field. Right here, we know there were 4,000 tickets sold coming into this fixture, but there were so many sold on the door. This is the busiest I have ever seen the Cardiff Arms Park for a women's fixture, and they are, you know, that support has been duly rewarded with a fantastic performance from Wales.
And the diversity of crowd as well, in terms of gender, range of ages.
Absolutely.
The growth potential is enormous, and at the time where Welsh rugby is struggling for any sense of positivity, this is something to hang your hat on for sure.
Get the binds in there. Let's go. Let's go. I'll give you the time, so just have another attempt.
What are we? 16, 17 months into national contrast. Ireland are a year behind.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah, they are, and add into the mix the fact they made that decision not to use their sevens players, to keep them separate. That's a big group of players. Probably about 4 or 5 girls that would have been starting today are away with the sevens.
Yeah, especially in the back line. Some very talented players, and sadly, it's been hard going here. Friday, the captain, this time Ireland looking to expand their players. Irwin, good offload. Scuffle McCabe, good footwork by her. Scrum half now playing the wing. Hannah Jones is down. She's in a bit of pain too. More carries. Ireland have been here for a while now in the second half. Hannah Jones is still down. O'Brien, Friday, Irwin, forced back inside. O'Brien over the touchline, and again more pressure on Wales.
Yeah, you've got to give credit to this Irish team. You know, with a scoreline like that, they could have easily self-combusted on themselves, but they haven't. They're staying in the fight. You know, that's one thing you can never question these Irish girls about, is their work ethic and their pride. And they are up against it in pretty much every facet of the game, and yet they are still managing to force their way into the right areas of the field.
Full green. Thank you.
Another penalty coming again. Going back to set piece.
Full green.
It's a quick fix sometimes.
It's just proving such a weapon, isn't it, for Wales?
Back over here. Back.
Good kick. Let's go down to the touchline. Back to Lauren and Alicia.
Subs.
Alicia, 4,962, a new record crowd here at the Arms Park. Does it feel different? Yeah, as somebody who's played many games here, does it feel different standing on the touchline in front of a raucous atmosphere?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, we've got nearly two sides full here, whereas last Six Nations we only had the one side full, so I think the atmosphere has been incredible, and no doubt that's had its part to play in the performance today.
And the put on a show for Cecilia Tupelotu, who's just left the pitch. Ireland are having a bit more ball in this half. How important will it be for Wales to finish strongly, that you potentially keep them scoreless?
Oh, that'd be incredibly incredible for us. Our confidence going into next week, I think it's really important. But we're just solely focused on getting the win today and the performance that will follow with that as well. So yeah, the girls have been outstanding, and Cecilia has just played her part within the role today. So very, very happy.
Alicia Jeffman,
thank you.
On the ball.
Yeah, Wales did all the hard work there, but if anything, they ran away from support.
Ready
Now
for 7 or 6.
Ireland are looking to play. We spoke about the sevens background of many of these players. If anything, overplaying. No scrum half for Wales. So Gwenllian Pearce flies in. George Evans is now skipper. Karen Lake. Again, such a powerful, strong athlete is Karen Lake. She's a real nuisance to pull down. Evans, Snows, oh, great pass by her. Wales are purring in Cardiff. Callender then in at 9. Pearce, who's put in a real shift. The loose end. Pretty sure that Tupelotu will draw the plaudits. But Pearce has been equally as impressive. Another penalty.
Leave it. Holding.
Well-timed challenge there from the Irish back in that ruck. Just catching the Welsh player holding on.
Yes. Aoife Dalton, 13 for Ireland, was a very talented player herself. Just haven't had an opportunity to see it. Knock on by Kate. And that's one that will be in the negative column come video review on Monday, and Courtney Keat knows that already.
Outside. Thank you.
Kelsey Jones, not for the first time, smiling.
You're okay?
Always smiling. Always smiling.
Always a smile on her face, and the evergreen Cat Evans is on to replace her.
Yeah, Kelsey Jones, such an important squad member, just full of positive energy on and off the field. But like you say, Cat Evans coming on, the experienced Saracens player, played a bit of sevens as well. You know, the Wales have really gone for that mobility in the front row.
Let's go, form up. Here's the mark.
Sophie on Lewis as well.
Come and set.
Scrum half, scorer of the crucial try here against the Scots last year, where Wales got out of jail somehow. They've got a habit of doing that against Scotland, and it's the Scots next for Wales.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
O'Brien, Dolan, nice, Breen, scuffling at Kane. This time Keith brings her down. Good angle from Ireland. Still haven't given up quite yet. O'Brien on the hunt.
Quiet.
O'Brien. Jugan. Sinead Harris attempts to pinch it. She's brushed away. Friday. Was that nudged forward? No. We play on. Derva Nicoverd. Crossfield kick. Neumann will allow that to trickle over.
It's good for Ireland to mix up the attacking picture there, but that's a ball that really should have been kept in field. They had a good bit of possession there. They were starting to trouble the Welsh defensive line. It doesn't need to go out to the edge, just in behind, a little bit shorter. We could have had a foot race.
Ken. Yeah, she's coming. I'll let them sort themselves out. You're okay? You've sorted your spot? Come in. Yeah, she's coming. So. Then the 5 play.
Now the game might be done for both sides, but these are useful exercises for both coaching setups.
Use it now!
Because they will be tested later in this championship. Fionn Lewis on for Ciara Bevan. Exit, so almost 5,000 here. Record crowd for a Wales game. Can we just discuss pre-tournament predictions? This was seen by many as the battle for third place, with France and England way ahead, and maybe Scotland and Italy slightly behind. Is that disrespectful to Italy and Scotland, and possibly overestimating France or England, or is that really where these sides are now?
To a certain extent, it's not. England are at the top, even though they've had some serious injuries. Emily Scarlett, Hannah Bottom are not involved, but they've got such strength and depth, so they're still going to be running high. With France, they've got a change of coaching management. They've had some injuries, some retirements, so I actually think that they are now in the mix with the best of the rest, so to speak.
Ireland, this is the closest they've been in this game. They've been better in the second half. There's a carry from O'Connor. Substitute have made a difference. Friday, she'll keep coming, the skipper. Zhu Gang. Another penalty.
Number 4 collapsing.
Yeah, taken quickly by Nicoverd. Derval Nicoverd.
Shot!
Almost there. Friday, play scrum half. Monaghan, head down.
Shot!
She's short. Told so by the referee. Surely Ireland are there. Friday's over the line. She's convinced she's scored. TMO will get the final say.
Do you have grounding?
But Ireland seem to say that they've scored their first try.
Any more grounding? Tempo, coming to you.
Yeah, got you, mate.
At the moment, I've got no grounding. I haven't seen anything, so I've got no try. But can you please confirm if there was a grounding there?
Yeah, stand by, mate. So on-field decision is no try.
Yes, no try held up.
Okay.
And just to note, those directives are quite important because the referee says no try unless there's definitive. Oh yeah, it's a try. It's a try.
Yeah, it has to be clear and obvious, doesn't it? And that pretty much is. I really think the bench for Ireland have made a real big impact. And look at
Amber, the ball has been grounded, so the try is good.
All right, thank you.
Easy call for Ian Tempest. And that's the first green cheer of the afternoon, and it's Nicola Friday who gets her side's first try.
And with a game like this, with a scoreline like this, you know, the coaches would have said at half-time, right, it's 0-0. Go out and try and win the second half. And credit to Ireland that we've seen some of the best parts of them now in this second half. And that's just classic sign of a team that's going through that development change. They're going to learn so much by each game they go through. They're going to have to take that early bit of pain. But at the moment now, in the second half, that's one try apiece, so they're level. And that'll be an important factor for them to build on.
Conversion missed. Sene, improvement for sure, yeah?
Yeah, better composure from Ireland in this attacking phase. I think they're a bit more composed at the phases. Dana O'Brien is making a difference here. I think she's been able to hit the right players. There's players available to get the ball wide, but a really good finish from Ireland there for Nicola Friday.
And what's the ambition for these young Irish players for the final 13, 14 minutes? Sort of keep the scoreboard down or maybe push for a second, third try?
Yeah, I'd say they need to make sure that they execute any set pieces that they get to, that they win defensively. They've just got to obviously make their tackles and see where they can get the ball back. But territory is working for them. They're composed when they get the phases, they build the phases, and hopefully they're able to secure the scrum and work through the territory again.
Thanks, Annette. Good carry off the base by O'Connor. She lined up Fionn Lewis, brushed her away as well. And now Ireland are shaping to kick. O'Brien.
Oh, you're on now.
Interesting. Clearly can kick with both feet, so change the angle. Keat, big powerful fullback. Job to drag her down when she gathers speed. Abby Fleming. Put a shift in as well. Ireland interfering at the breakdown, but getting penalised.
Come on. Deliberate knocked it out again.
Yep, she's going for the arm of the line, so she's
but she runs the risk. Penalty only this time. You've already had one in the bin for it. No more of them.
Okay, so no on the arm. Okay.
We've got the ball.
Deliberate knock on. May I suggest that if this was a closer game, that might be another yellow card?
Yeah, potentially, especially seeing as they've got form for it. So you can challenge the arm, you just can't whack the ball out of the hand. And that's where they're just sort of flirting with that line at the moment. There, see, she makes contact with the ball. You can't do that.
Thank you.
I definitely think if Wales were in more of an attacking position, maybe closer to the 22, that could have been a card.
Red, come in.
Reduced line out. Snow Silk. Siobhan Harris. It's a nuisance as well, isn't she?
That's a polite way of putting it. She's one of those players you love to have on your team and hated to play against.
No.
And she's in the thick of things again.
You can't play it in
Siobhan
the
Harris. She fronts up.
Like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, incredible. physical presence, such a leader as well. You never get anything but just 100% intensity and effort from her.
Spent a period, a sustained period of time in the international wilderness as well, where she'd fallen out of favour.
Yeah, she did. And fair play to her. I know that was really difficult for her. It was a really difficult time, but she went back to her club. She learned, she grew as a player. She kept just sticking to trying to be the best rugby player she could be, and eventually Welsh management saw the senses and got her back involved.
Would not have expected to play 70 minutes on this opening campaign, but an injury to Gwen Crabb forced that issue, and there's a turnover here for Wales. It might well be Kit Williams who did that. Eleanor Snowsill, not her best contribution to that game, and that's out in the full, and it's Irish ball.
Yeah, she was under a load of pressure then. She tried just quickly to change her angle, but when you do that, you take that extra step, you just give the defence another metre on you to pressurise there, just that extra step. Plenty of distance on it. Unfortunately, the wind just pulled it out a little earlier than she probably thought it would go. Gwen Pearce, though, what a shift. Absolutely incredible. 70 minutes in the front row. And she hasn't just been holding her own in the scrum. She's been getting the turnovers, carries, brilliant work.
Number 3. Oh, hold on. Just wait. All complete, okay, sorry. I can see. No, it's okay. Not straight. Scrum will line out. Scrum.
Going back to the conversation we had 10 minutes ago in terms of the makeup of this competition. Scotland next for Wales.
Crouch.
With this performance in mind, we haven't seen Scotland play.
Find.
We'd expect them to find a tough match in front of them against England. Will Wales be going up there expecting to win?
Oh, absolutely. They'll be targeting that game. They've got the most recent run of form, although it has always been close against Scotland. You know, arguably, Scotland should have beaten Wales in the World Cup, and they're going to be looking to prove a point.
Wales offload was forced.
It's a forward and a knock-on.
Great break there by Courtney Heat, the fullback. Just see her in a picture there. Such a strong runner with the ball. Tried to get that offload away. You could see Fionn Lewis, like any good scrum half, running that cheat line on the inside. She might just come into your picture on the inside. Look at that great strength, ending away. Oh, could have been on. It's the right idea. She was in control of the collision. She had both hands free. Just couldn't quite execute.
Crouch. Bind. Set. We've got both down. Hide up, straighten up. Perfect. No work so hard on that after that hit. Wait till that ball's in and then go. Yep. So I've got them to straighten up.
17 is Carol Thomas.
We've got a lockdown.
Who's been involved in many a scrum
Just a lock.
in the Welsh shirt. Not a bad replacement to bring on in terms of experience.
Yeah, incredibly experienced player. We started around the same sort of time, but I am happily retired by many a year, and she is still going. Quite incredible. And playing in the front row as well.
All good, Maria? All right. Are we right to go? All right. Water off.
What do you make of England post-World Cup, post-disappointment? Sarah Hunter's final game this afternoon. She's getting the send-off in her hometown of Newcastle. Are they vulnerable this year?
Sadly, they're not. No, they're not. Their strength and depth is so good. It's going to be an interesting time to watch them, though, because Simon Middleton, their coach, been with them for many a year. You know, we thought after they lost that World Cup final, there would be probably an immediate change of management. not in any way to discredit what he had done, but it was just their time. He'd been there for some while, but he's actually staying on for this Six Nations. And when you consider it's only a short cycle between now and the next World Cup, whichever coach does come in, and that position is still on advertisement, we don't know who the next coach of England is going to be. They have a very short time to get to grips with their team. And they've got some injuries, but they've just got such strength and depth. You'll still see a very dominant England team, whereas France don't quite have the luxury of as much depth. So they could be the team that could be vulnerable. But
when next for Ireland?
Yeah, keep building, keep progressing. You know, they've been doing good things on their Sevens programme. They are up there as one of the best teams in the world, and that's because those girls got turned professional a couple of years ago. So they are reaping the rewards of professionalism, but like we've seen with the 15s programme, it's only recent that they've turned professionalism. So it's going to take a little while for that to bed in and for them to get the benefit.
Yeah, it is the real balance of the game and the women's game. The battle between Sevens and 15. Welsh side suffering a little bit. Jazz Joyce playing GB Sevens, taking a contract in the Sevens circuit as opposed to a Welsh rugby contract. She might be available for a game, but do you bring somebody in for one match? Probably not. And the same applies to Ireland. They do think they could win a medal in Paris next year, and an Irish rugby medal in the Olympics is not to be sniffed at, and it's far more likely in the short term of producing major success than at 15s. Right, before we get back to that, it's that time for your nominations and your final decision for player of the match.
Yeah, for me, it's actually been in the front row. I've been most impressed. I think Gwen Press has done a fantastic job fronting up, but it's the youngster for her first start, you know, in this Six Nations, Cecilia Tuipulotu, 19 years. She has the most dominant performance today. She's top ball carrier, and she left the field 20 minutes ago. That's how much workload she got through. She's made her tackles, she's made her carries. And the best thing is, she's such a modest player. To be so talented, so young, how fantastic.
Family, delighted. Good job, Philippa. You've made someone's day.
Hey, she's made my day. How exciting to see a talent like that coming through.
What a player, what a talent. Her dad, of course, Sione, played for Tonga, Newport. Cousin Carwyn plays for the Scarlets. But she is her own person, and it's her creating the headlines. Well done, Cecilia Tuipulotu. And Ireland, well, they're enjoying a scrum renaissance in the final 5 minutes, and maybe they might get another one. But this game is done and dusted as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, and I think the definite learning here is potentially a change in the halfbacks for the next game. I really think since they've changed and Dana O'Brien has come on, we've seen a lot more territorial kicks, a bit more organisation, just a bit more of a threat in attack.
No, you're right then. Good.
The first 40 was nigh on pitch perfect. Since turning, there's been the odd work on. The wind clearly turned, but Wales thoroughly deserve this victory. Ireland haven't given up yet. And this is the dynamic young hooker Nick Gavin. Dalton, marshalled by Keats, and Keats and Black combined force her over the touchline, and Wales are almost there now.
Yeah, I think that will be one work on that Wales will want. Like I alluded to before, last Six Nations, they played all the rugby at the end of the game. This time round, they've played all the rugby in the first half. I think, you know, it's a try a piece in the second half, and when you consider how much dominance Wales had in that first half, you would have really liked to have seen them being a bit more ruthless, kick on and get a couple of more tries under the board.
Red ball!
Kate Williams rescued the situation there. Maybe they'll try and go from deep. Alex Carlander, real Duracell bunny of a player. who keep coming and coming and coming. And we mention the all-action Alicia Butchers. Alice Calder certainly offers the same energy and the same determination.
Yeah, she certainly does. One of the top tacklers in the last Six Nations, and she carried on that form into the World Cup as well.
Okay.
Mentioned in many a player's dream team. Absolute nuisance around the field. Perfect number 7.
.38 metres for Calendar, ball in hand. Tupolotu with 51.
Take the flag.
She got what, 2, 3 scrum penalties?
Thank you.
Yeah. Incredible performance.
It's reached that point now where sides are going through the motion. Ireland perhaps with one final swing of punches, that forward, but we will play on. And Wales might get the turnover here. They do, and they get a penalty.
Stay on the ground. Hold it.
And just a word on the occasion, Philippa. We touched upon the fact there's 5,000 supporters here. A hearty mix of Irish and Welsh supporters, and the opportunity once again to inspire a new generation of Welsh rugby fans.
Yeah, absolutely. To see good rugby played well, smiles on faces. You know, this is what we get our kids into rugby for, because you're going to enjoy it, you're going to have fun, you can express yourself. And that's what every little boy and girl here has seen today. And then there's Lisa Burgess in the crowd there, legend of the Welsh game, involved with the under-18s coaching programme, under-20s. Future's in safe hands there.
Red scarf. No, she's hit me, that's why she's not gone.
Well, the referee making a tally contribution to end the game. Is this a fair result? Because statistically, they're pretty even, Wales and Ireland.
No, I think this is a fair reflection. You know, Wales are far more experienced, embedded combinations. Like we say, they've just been in that professional programme that bit more, and you know, the exposure they had at the World Cup, playing against New Zealand twice. That's fantastic experience from them, and it's just great to see they're continuing their momentum, progressing game by game.
This is it, last play of the game, and it's Neumann across field, great offload. Williams-Morris got the ball away, knocked on.
Stand forward.
And the referee will blow the whistle. Humiliated here 2 years ago. No plan, no structure, no hope. How times have changed. Look at the scenes here at Cardiff Arms Park. The future is bright for Welsh women's rugby. They have beaten Ireland, and they've done so with ease, Philippa.
They have invest, support, and let the good rugby play. These women have done Wales proud.
5 tries in total. It was a 26-0 lead at half-time. And then, player of the match, Tupolotu with a second try. And Wales were better in most aspects of play, in particular set piece. 31 points to 5. Let's go down pitch side to Lauren.
Cecilia Tupolotu, you are the women's TikTok Six Nations Player of the Match. Congratulations. One of your biggest wins in this competition in front of an emphatic crowd today. Sum up your feelings for me. How does it feel to start the campaign in that fashion?
Just before I answer the question, first things first, I just want to thank our Heavenly Father for guiding me through this game. And to answer your question, there's no words that can explain how I'm feeling right now. I'm just grateful for the team that I have. I'm for my family and friends for always supporting me on the field and off the field.
It was your first test start at tight head prop, Cecilia. You were in the middle of everything, whether it was your work at the set piece, your footwork. Did you feel at times you could have been wearing any shirt out there this afternoon?
No, I'm always wearing this shirt. This shirt is the only shirt I've worn to wear. But yeah, grateful.
Yeah, talk me through that transition then, from lock to tight head, how much you're enjoying it?
It's always a tough process, transition from one position to another position. But with the coaches that I have and the support that I have, I'm grateful that I'm enjoying it more and more now as I get to play.
And Hannah, to think 2 years ago you lost to Ireland 45-0, it doesn't seem that long ago, but just how far have you come?
We've come a long way, and I'd just like to thank the crowd here today. We've got record crowd today, and it's just been brilliant atmosphere, so thank you very much.
Go and join that huddle, thank you.
Yes, some reaction there from the player of the match, Johan Cunningham. A very happy head coach joins us now as well. Johan, beyond your wildest dream, that's performance?
Yeah, delighted for the players. They put in so much hard work, and yeah, just absolutely delighted that we got away with a win and start with a bonus point.
What pleased you most about it? Was it the attack, that pack that gave you the platform? Where'd you start with the debrief on Monday?
Yeah, I think up front we put a great platform, and we managed to go after that as well, and I was pleased with that, and obviously just delighted with the crowd as well. It gives us such a boost here, and but just chuffed with the game plan. We stuck at it.
And so important to start with momentum before you go to Scotland next weekend.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a tough challenge next week away from home, but you know, we've started with a win, so we'll enjoy that, reflect on it, and move forward.
And a word about Cecilia Tupelotu and the whole of that front row, actually, because they really put a shift in. But you mentioned before the match that she could be world class. Do you stand by that after that performance?
100%. I genuinely believe that Cecilia could be one of the best props in the world. I think she showed today what she can do, and I thought Gwen Chian-Pers was outstanding as well as Kelsey Jones. So big up for the front row there.
Johan, go and celebrate. All smiles. I know you want to go. Diolch yn fawr, Johan. Ladies, thank you ever so much for your company. We don't have much time, but there we have it, a win for Wales. And as for Ireland, you go again against France next weekend. But the Wales, that is a great start. And the Women's 2023 Six Nations has kicked off. Wales go against Scotland next weekend, Ireland against France. Thank you for your company. We'll see you very soon. Goodbye.
It's that time when the future offers so much promise. First strike goes to the Red of Wales. Ciara Bevan, try number 2. It's been the perfect start to this year's competition. Hannah Jones, Wales have a bonus point to Tupelotu.
She is on fire.
Wales are purring in Cardiff. Wales thoroughly deserve this victory.